Good morning. Welcome home to Unity of Arlington. We're so very pleased that you're here with us this morning in this crispy, cold morning of what we call winter. Those of you at home, but we're glad you're with us, and let's get this party started. Please sing with us. Why don't you stand up? God is my source.
God is my power. God gives me everything I need.
So I give thanks.
Thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
God is my source.
God is my power. God gives me everything I need.
So I give thanks.
Thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
God is my source.
God is my power. God gives me everything I need.
So I give thanks.
Thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Woo, thank you. Well, let's keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Here we go.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
All right, band.
Now look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Here we go.
We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
Woo, thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome home to Unity of Arlington. I just got to say right off the bat that this side of the room has got the right idea. If you notice, they're all bunched in all together to stay nice and warm. Y'all are all spread out. You're going to be a little colder. So if you want to, during the welcome later, when we're all up shaking it, y'all can move in together if you want to. Or even just go over there with them and we'll just move over. Oh. Julie doesn't need any help. Y'all stay away from her. As we begin this morning, even though it's cold outside, remember that this is the day that God has made, and we should rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to everyone that's here this morning, if you're here in person or online. that we hope that you will find Unity of Arlington to be a place of love and joy and insightful, useful spiritual teachings. Our goal is to have some fun while we are making beautiful connections with one another. I love this phrase that we have, the Unity of Arlington is a beautifully diverse and intentionally inclusive spiritual community. We are devoted to the teachings of Jesus and other great spiritual masters. We love God, we love each other, and we create more unity in the world by being love in action. And y'all, we got to make sure we do a whole lot of that starting tomorrow. So that's all I'm going to say about that. If you, yeah, breathe and put out some love in the atmosphere. If you are with us for the very first time, you're not, so I'm going to skip all that. If you're with us for the first time online, go to the sign up button there, click on that, and fill out the information, because that's our best way to keep in touch with you and to serve your needs the best. Throughout the service this morning, I invite you all to open your hearts, open your mind, and stay open to the call of Spirit. Next Sunday, January 26th, the day after Nancy May's birthday, a little shout out early. She is accepting presents for the animal shelter. She's not for herself. But next Sunday, we will welcome back Dr. Tracy Brown as our guest speaker. She's going to be talking about the hidden truth about faith. So faith, you either have it or you don't. Faith, we use spiritual practice to grow or deepen our faith. Faith is an invisible and hard to explain. We know a lot about faith, but there is one truth about faith that most people either don't know or they often forget. So Tracy is going to remind us of this important fact that we must incorporate into our lives if we want faith to help us navigate to our highest good. So I don't know why she's keeping it a secret and doesn't give us a little preview today, but she's got a big good secret for us to reach our highest good, so be sure and be here next week. And now our wonderful board president has an announcement for us. Catherine.
Hi, good morning. So, just some board updates. The board approved December financials as reported in the newsletter. So for December, our income was $28,884.43, which leaves us with a deficit of $1,307 for the year. Yeah. So some of you may recall that we started 2024 with a carryover income from 2023 of $20,000. So we're in good shape. We're wrapping up 2024 looking good. Thank you all. And just so incredibly blessed. Yep. So some other news, just a few bullet points of things going on. The nominating committee, chaired by Mary Ortiz, thank you, Mary, is scheduling interviews with our abundance of candidates. The board has had the first budget meeting, and a big thank you to Sal Monaco for so much He's brilliant, y'all. We are so blessed. He's worked out the draft budget, and it was, I'll tell you, the smoothest, nicest budget meeting I've been in 6 years. So it's good. So thank you. So we're in good shape. We'll keep working on that, but we're almost there. And you know, in that budget includes his line items for bringing candidates in, right? So the board will be also soon emailing a notification to all active members for a special meeting coming up where we'll vote on our extensive bylaw revisions led by Caroline Jordan, our vice president, rock star. And we'll be getting through that here in February. And then the annual meeting will be scheduled for about mid-March. And then, you know, you'll get your email notification about that and get that on your calendar. And just want to encourage everyone to go to the Unity Worldwide Ministries website and have a look at our posted ministry vacancy packet. And so much gratitude to Steve Morris and his team for their work on that effort. As Steve says, who we seek is seeking us right now. Amen. Yep. So, and then a huge thank you to Becky, Joe, Diane. Why am I getting emotional? It's just gratitude, y'all. Or is it lemon cake? I don't know. Coffee. To all of y'all for the talent that they keep bringing to consistently excellent Sunday services. Yeah. Yep. And that's it. That's your board update.
I know it's not the way it's done, but I really would like to see all of the board candidates make posters and put them all around. And exactly. And if you would give us little treats with your name on them to get our votes like they do in school. Yeah. Don't do that. That's not how we're going to vote, but it'd be funny. The other thing I want to tell you, I want to say like 10-ish years ago, we did a really cool skit. There might be some photos online around the holidays that talked about folks that were homeless and going into cold, and we made blessing bags that we had gotten an idea from other places, and we passed them out for several years. And I have exciting good news this morning. You may have seen on your way in that there are blessing bags in the lobby. Please take some of those on your way out. Do you know, can you tell me which spirit group made those? The Wonders. So the Wonders created some blessing bags that have items for people that are in need. You just take a couple, put them in your car when you see someone that is out in the cold or that could use some of the items that are in the bag. It is a great thing to roll down your window, make a connection with them, you know, tell them that you're thinking about them, and give them one of those that will help them. So please take one. It's a gift to them, but I promise you when you do it, it'll be a gift to yourself as well. So make that happen. Now our song leaders are going to lead us in our welcome song. This is y'all's chance to move to the warm side. We'll greet each other in the middle. If you're online, please say hi and let us know where you are coming in from. If you're here in the sanctuary, remember it's cold and flu season, so be careful as you are greeting one another. Hugs, high fives, fist bumps are all great ways to make a connection and greet each other. Do what is most comfortable for you and the other person.
Please stand and join us in singing. Here we go.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Please greet one another.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Woo! Please be seated.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Mary Ortiz y yo les voy a decir la palabra de hoy. La palabra de hoy, domingo 19 de enero del 2025, es inspiración. Y la afirmación es: mis palabras y acciones inspiran a otros. Hoy reflexiono sobre la visión clara y las palabras poderosas y las acciones valientes de líderes como el Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Valoro profundamente cómo el ejemplo de una sola persona puede motivar a muchos a superar pensamientos limitantes y abrirse a nuevas posibilidades para el bien. La inspiración es como el aliento divino que nos impulsa. Al igual que todos, fui creado a imagen y semejanza de lo divino. Agradezco a las personas que, con su fe y amor, me han inspirado incluso en medio de los desafíos. Guiado por mis poderes divinos e imaginación y entusiasmo, me uno a quienes se esfuerzan para construir un mundo donde cada ser humano pueda vivir en libertad y alegría. Sacado de las Sagradas Escrituras, Génesis capítulo 2, versículo 7, entonces del polvo de la tierra Dios el Señor formó al hombre e infundió en su nariz aliento de vida. Así el hombre se convirtió en un ser con vida. Nuevamente la palabra para hoy es inspiración y la afirmación es: mis palabras y acciones inspiran a otros. Gracias.
Good morning. I am Shirley Cobb, and I am honored and happy to be your platform leader this morning. Thank you, Mary, for sharing the daily word in Spanish. The daily word for today, January 19th, 2025, is inspired. Our affirmation is: my words and actions inspire others. Today, I reflect on the clearer vision, powerful words, and courageous actions of leaders such as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I appreciate how one person's example can inspire so many others to move beyond thoughts of limitation and focus on the possibilities for good that are always present. Inspiration can be thought of as the breath of God. I, like all people, am made in the image and likeness of the divine. I give thanks for people I have known whose vibrant faith and love, even in the most challenging circumstances, have inspired me. Guided by my divine gifts of imagination and zeal, I join with those building a world where each person lives freely and with joy. Our scripture today comes from Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground, and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Again, our daily word for today is inspired, and please join me in saying our affirmation. My words and actions inspire others. And so it is. At this time, I'd like to ask our prayer chaplain, Caroline Jordan, to come forward. We also want to acknowledge Teresa Riggs, who is the keeper of the flame today. We light the Christ candle as a symbol to remind us of the Christ presence, the divine light within us all. We are the light of the world, and we are meant to shine. Caroline will be stationed at the front of the sanctuary after the service to offer one-on-one prayer support. Please know that everything shared with your prayer chaplain is confidential. Our chaplains are here to serve you and would love to pray with you. If you have a request for prayer, you can also go to our website at unityofarlington.org. There is a prayer request button on the middle of the page, and all you have to do is fill out the form and submit it. It could be a request or a celebration. And if you're here with us in person this morning, we invite you to fill out our prayer request and place it in our prayer chest. Our prayer chaplains will pray over these requests and then send them to Silent Unity, where they are held in prayer for 30 days. And now, please join me in saying our opening prayer. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good. And so it is.
I would like to introduce our guest speaker for today, but it's a pretty short introduction because now we have her in our heart all the time, and she's part of our family, so you don't need a whole lot of information about her, but Reverend Lari has a passion for spiritual evolution studying, teaching, and preaching new thought principles. She's a very familiar face here at Unity of Arlington, and she loves spending time in this community, maybe as much as we love having her here. She's been studying and practicing metaphysics for over 50 years, which seems impossible, right? She started in the womb. She's a licensed prayer practitioner, and she places a high value on the power of affirmative prayer. And so we are lucky that she is going to be sharing with us today. I have a quick music story to tell you really fast because our music person was not able to be here today, and so they called me and said, "Hey, do you want to sing?" And I was like, "Always." But I was like, "Oh, I don't know what to sing on short notice." When I was in college and first started really trying to make a real connection with God, I didn't like most of the church music because it was all about being a sinner or being bad or, God having lots of control over your life. And so I didn't want to sing any of that. And so when I was alone and trying to make a connection, because music's how I connect to things, I would sing lots of 40s standards. Because if you change a word or two, or if you just think of it in your mind as something spiritual, or if it's a song about love, it could be about God's love for you. It didn't have to be romantic. And so I did that a lot, and, of course, some show tunes. But that's how I made a connection, is by singing those kind of songs. And I never saw that anywhere until about 15 years ago, and I came here for the very first time, and Kay Persons sang a 40s standard song on my first time. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll come back next Sunday and see what this church is about. So I'm going to sing that song that Kay sang the first time I was ever here. Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries by the doorstep. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street when you hear that pitter-pat and that happy tune is your step. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with my blues on parade. But now I'm not afraid, and this rover done crossed over, that if I ever have a say, I'll be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. Trio, ladies and gentlemen. I used to walk in the shade with my blues on parade, but now I'm not afraid, and this rover done crossed over. If I ever have a say, and I do, I'm gonna be one happy feller. Nice to all that I meet on the sunny side of the street.
You moved it.
And I know you don't like my book on there either. Here.
Oh, yeah, it's very heavy. Okay. Hi. Here we are again. Thank you, Steve. It's New Thought song right there. So we're talking about New Thought. You all know this. I'm preaching to the choir, but I love to talk about the basic principles that we teach in Unity and Science of Mind. And traditionally, in Science of Mind, and I think in Unity too, January was kind of used as a go over the things again and get them back straight in your head. So that's what we're going to kind of do today, because I love to talk about these principles. So, of course, the number one principle is that there is only one God, and your unity principle states there's only one presence and one power active as a universe in my life, God the good. And I love that because I think it was Emma Curtis Hopkins used good as a synonym for God. And when we think of God, I like to say it's good. It's all the good you can possibly think of. And so, unfortunately, through the years and through the centuries, the idea that we are made in the image and likeness of God, which we are, man has made God in the image and likeness of man, right? And so it turns into a being. God cannot have form, or it would be finite, like we are. It's infinite expression, infinite consciousness, energy. Ernest Holmes had things like that stuff and the thing itself, and just wonderful terms for it. Because in human language, we cannot describe God. There's no way to describe it, because you have to feel it and get on that sunny side of the street and know that there is something, there's a presence, there's an energy that created me out of itself. And since it created me out of itself, I'm made of everything it's made of. And the basic metaphor is always the ocean. You know, we are each a drop of water in the ocean. And when you analyze anything, any little cup you take out of the ocean, you're going to get the same results scientifically. So that's true of us as God beings. We have within us all of that God stuff, all of that good stuff. We were made with it. Nobody is without it. And so we go through life sometimes and we say, yeah, but if I'm made of God stuff, why can't I do all that God can do? Well, you can't possibly do all that God could do because you're not the whole ocean, But you have within you the intelligence and the power to do whatever you choose to do. Now, in this presence, this mind, I like to call it the mind of God, there's no time, there's no space, there's no distance. God knows nothing of good and evil. It's there, and we get to use it
Going back to Star Wars, the Force, you can use it for good like Luke did, or bad from old Darth Vader. So we get to choose how we use this presence and power that dwells within us. And we have to remember that it's not an adjective, adverb, through us. Everything's happening through me, not to me. We as humans have become victims, and we think it's somebody else's fault that this happened to me. But what we know and what we teach here is if you don't like what's going on in your life, then just what you've been thinking about. Because this infinite expression I call God never, ever says no. It always says yes. And so I say that to people, and they say, but I didn't want that. And God said, yes, you didn't want that. You know, it affirms what we put out there. So we have to watch what we're thinking. And we don't. You know, we just kind of blunder into things until we begin to study a little bit and come to unity and start paying attention. And then our life begins to change just a little bit. So this incredible infinite expression that created all of life, created everything. Anything you can think of has already been in the mind of God, and now we just wait for it to manifest according to our belief. It is done unto you according to your belief. That's one of the biggest tenets that we teach here. And really, through all sacred writings and teachings, you know, you have to have faith. You have to believe in what you're talking about and what you're doing. And then we say, but I believed it, and it didn't happen. Oh, Lord, treat my unbelief, right? Because we have those belief systems that have faded away until we don't know that they're there, but they were placed there, and at some point we accepted the untruth. And so that will sometimes keep you from blocking the truth of your being. So when life gets kind of bumpy and you wonder what's going on, I want you to remember this. Could you bring me my little prop there? Thank you. Yeah, it's heavy too. Okay. Thank you. So when life, you know, you begin to look a little bit like this. You know, you're all wrinkled and warped and spotty, and, you know, life is just, what in the world is going on in my life? What have I done? I'm a horrible person. I don't make right decisions. Nobody likes me. Yeah, I can't sing, blah, 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 blah. All those things are right there. But what you have to remember is what's on the inside. What is on the inside is this beautiful, perfect expression of you. This is who you are. That's not who you are. This is who you are. And so wherever you go, that's where you're going to be. I love that metaphor because when I'm having a really crappy day, I think, okay, think of your shell. Remember the beauty that's inside of you. And I call myself, you dumb. That was dumb. Would you? Okay, it might have been dumb, but you're not dumb. Okay, got to watch how you say those things. So, being made in the image and likeness of God, we have within us that ability to be whatever we want to be. It's like the acorn, or I'm thinking of the sequoias. You've seen the redwood forest? Has anybody seen the redwood forest? And they on display in one of the centers is a seed of a sequoia tree, which is no bigger than the end of my finger. And that little seed contains that tree. And I was just and I think, well, but that's true of everything, isn't it? So as we think about seeds, we plant seeds. In Science of Mind, I have a symbol on here. You probably can't see it. But we have this God symbol, and then in three parts of it. The mind, where the divine idea comes through. The middle part is the soil, it's subjective mind that's subjective to your thoughts. The bottom is the form, where it comes out in form. So when I plant a seed, it goes into subjective mind. Now, if I plant a tomato seed, and I think I'm going to get a rose, will I? Probably not. So what sometimes people say, but I prayed for that. I prayed about that, and I know it. But that seed cannot come into fruition if you're thinking something else besides what you put in there. I also know that when I put it, just like the sequoia, little seed, there's probably billions of those little seeds lying in the ground. They don't all become trees, probably, because there wasn't enough sunlight or the right watering or whatever it needs. So when I plant a seed into a subjective mind, I have to keep it watered. I have to keep it going with my faith and belief that this will manifest. I don't have to know how. I have to know that it will manifest. It's up to God to figure out how. Because how many times have you said, how am I going to do that? Or how are they going to do it? Or how are we going to do that? And you have to put that aside and say, it doesn't matter. If this is what we're going for, if this is our vision, if this is our goal, if this is our focus, God has a way. Or you would never have had the idea. Right? So that seed was planted in your mind from somewhere. And so we have to trust and believe that it is done, that it is done. And so when it's not manifesting, and it's not always, doesn't manifest just like that, but we have to be patient and stay with that belief and not give up. We have to be like our dog at the table, you know. He's not going to give up till he gets a bite, you know. And so we have to stand at the table and wait for our bite. We cannot give up and let it go. So we have to know that we have the potential and there's power in our word. Now, when we talk about manifesting in prayer, I read this story and I love it. It was about a nurse missionary in Africa, and she was trying. One of the ladies was birthing and having a terrible time in labor. Anyway, the mother died, and the baby was premature, and the mother left a little 2-year-old girl too, and so they knew that they needed to keep this baby warm, you know, or it was not going to survive. So she said to one of her, get the hot water bottle and we'll sleep, you know, put it with her so she's always warm. The attendant came back and said, the hot water broke. It just got so dry and hard that it broke. We don't have a hot water bottle. So she instructed the nurse to sleep with the baby, keep her close to you at night, you sleep by the door so she doesn't get any draft, yada, yada, yada. Keep going. And then she told the children in the orphanage that this little baby, you know, needed to be warm through the night and left a little sister, and so we're going to pray about it, you know, and, you know, our hot water bottle broke and so and so. So she said they did prayer, and she always allowed the children to just pray, you know, any way they wanted. And one little girl said, and God says, we need a hot water bottle, and we need it this afternoon. And we also need, would you please also, while you're at it, send a little doll for the little baby sister so she can be comforted and know that you love her. And the nurse thought to herself, well, that's okay, God, you know, okay, just listen. But there's no way a hot water bottle would show up that afternoon, because you don't go to the drugstore down out in the wilderness of Africa and pick up a hot water bottle. So she said, okay, thank you anyway. Well, as she went through the day, she got notification there was a package for her. So she said, well, I'll just take it over and we'll let the children open. It was a pretty good-sized box. Came from the States. She opened it up, and there were all sorts of snacks and some little toys and some T-shirts and stuff. And one little girl said, well, where's the hot water bottle? And I smiled at her, and the little girl rummaged in there, and she pulled out a hot water bottle. And then she said, well, if he sent that, where's the dolly? And she rummaged around and pulled out a little doll. And the nurse said, I stood there in total amazement, because that package had taken 5 months to get to them, was assembled 5 months prior to that, without them having any. And when she was able to talk to somebody about it, somebody from her former Sunday school class put the box together. She said, I don't know, when I was putting it together, I thought, you know, maybe even though they're on the equator, maybe they could use a hot water bottle. But in it went, and let's just send in a toy for one of the kids. Before you ask, I will answer. Is that not true? So sometimes those things happen, and we call them miracles, but there's really no miracles, people. You know, it's just life manifesting and bringing to us and through us whatever it is we have asked for. Now, here we go with the asking part, the affirmative prayer in Unity and Science of Mind. The first time I went into a religious science church and I heard a prayer, I thought that was really different. What was different about it? And then I listened closely the next time. I thought, he never said please. He never said send me or would you or could you. And he said, it is so. This has happened. She is healed. You know, the money is here. And I thought, I like that. That's a great way to pray. And so I right away, I took classes and began to learn about Science of Mind treatment, affirmative prayer. And so, because when you ask for something, that implies you don't have it, right? And physically and in our eyesight, it's not there. But the truth is, it is there. And when you stand in your faith, it'll show up for you. And so I love our affirmative prayer that I can, when I pray as practitioners, prayer partners, you take a lot of classes and you do a lot of praying until you get to that point that you know what you're saying is the truth. And we were taught in religious science, you don't release that until you know it absolutely, that's the truth. And the 5 steps of treatment in Science of Mind are recognition, there's only one God, and unification, I am a part of that, and the realization this is what is so, gratitude, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then release, let it go. Oftentimes, the reason your prayer is not answered is because you keep digging up the soil. Are you growing yet? You know, well, the seed says, I can't because you keep digging up the dirt. You know, leave me alone. Let me grow, let me flourish. So we have to be thankful, and we have to, I think we must be aware of those things that we call miracles. Some people, it was a coincidence. No, it wasn't. You know, if you really believed that something was coming to help you or get you through something, that was not a miracle. That was your belief that there's something that will take care of you. You know, there was one of the illustrations was a man on the top of a church roof fixing the roof, and he began to fall. And he said, God save me, as he's slipping down, and all of a sudden he stops. And he said, oh, never mind, a nail caught my belt. Never mind, that was God. You know, the same with the guy with the parking space. God, help me find a parking place. I need to get in there. I get in there, one shows up and he says, never mind, I found one. No. You say, oh, thank you, Father. You know, I'm so grateful. Now, I said the word Father. There's that image again of something, of a man in the sky or something. But we have to have a personal relationship with this thing that we call God or whatever we call it. We have to have the feeling that it is something that watches over me, that we do the prayer of protection. Something's watching over me and seeing me. And there are angels out there, all sorts of ways that angels are showing up. They're showing up in L.A. now, big time, to get those people back on their feet and in a home and whatever. Millions of angels out there watching over and helping in human form and in the divine. So I know that when those little things happen, when you did get the parking spot, can you just say, oh, thank you, I'm so grateful, instead of, it was there all the time, I didn't need you. Well, in the mind of God, we don't need anything, but we are required to accept the good that we have. God is all around us and waiting for us to show up. So there's a power of that word and in all that we do. Now, how does this happen? There are spiritual laws, cause and effect. What goes around comes around. You do this, this is going to take place for you. That's the Old Testament, where people say, God was such a horrible, vengeful God. No, that was the law. If you did this, then that happened. And then we have the New Testament of the Bible that, what did it bring in? Love. Jesus brought in love and said simply the 2 commandments, love the Lord your God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. So, gosh, I'm dealing with a bank fraud right now in one of our companies and having to change passwords. God, I really don't like passwords. Could you get rid of them? If we all did as we were told to do, to love one another, we wouldn't need passwords, would we? Wouldn't that be nice? I mean, I've got a book of passwords. Lord help me. I found one the other day. Our dog's name is Lebowski, and my password is Lebowski is fat. So I can remember that one. Anyway, I know that that there's reasons for everything, but if we could just love one another and get along. So these laws that we have, spiritual laws, cause and effect, law of attraction. What you're thinking about, you're attracting to you. That's why we want to get rid of the F word, fear. Right away, get it out of our lives. What were you thinking? Steve? I don't know. Anyway, fear. When you're afraid and when you worry, God says yes. Let's be afraid. Let's worry. That's what you want. And then you end up on the other side of the shell again. So we have to know that what we're thinking, we must be aware of what we're thinking. And, as the more and the more you show up in community like this and you read and you study, the more aware you are of what you're thinking and what you're doing and realizing this or that happened. Oh, I know what I did. And it doesn't mean you don't go beat up on yourself and say, wow, are you stupid? No, I just forgot. I forgot. I can start my day as I do with my meditation, my prayers, my treatments. Great day. Get out on the highway and somebody cuts in front of me and I'm, wow, did I forget fast? We need constantly to remind ourselves who we are and who everybody else is. You all are a part of me. Everybody's a part of me. Tomorrow, somebody will be a part of me. And we just say, okay, it is, I accept it. I don't resist it. I don't resist it. I spent a lot of time in the last few months, as probably some of you have too, just, oh no. And I think maybe that's why we have well, never mind. What I feared came to be, obviously. So we have to watch what we're thinking and be aware and know that when you're in a sticky situation, you can change that somehow. Again, you don't have to know how. Just know that you want the change. When the checkbook balance is not quite where you'd like it to be, so I know there's an abundant universe. There's this law of circulation. As I give, so as I receive. If I give without expectation. I've known so many people that when I had my center, talking about tithing to the center and the importance of giving, and they said, "Well, yeah, but I don't have the money." Oh, really? You don't have the money? I wonder why. Maybe you should just put in a quarter. You never know. If you'll give it without being afraid that you're not going to have enough. So those laws are in place and they work and they serve us. We have to remember that it's working through us and nothing's happening to us. So we know the power of our word. We know how this works. We know that this presence watches over us and loves us and protects us in ways we have no idea of how. But we have to believe it and we have to stand and give great thanks for it, living in gratitude. Who was it? Master Eckhart said, if your only prayer is thank you, that's the best prayer you could give in the day. Thank you, And again, who am I thanking? Well, not a who. I'm thanking the universe. I'm thanking this presence. Jesus called it Abba, the Father, and so that's fine. Have that feeling of a relationship and try not to make it a human one, but actually feel the arms enfolding you. So I'm talking out of two sides of my mouth here. I want that loving relationship, and I want to be held and hold. And I know that there's a divine parent that loves me and made me, and I'm a little bit responsible for doing something with what it made. So I'm working on it. You all are too. All right, let's just breathe a moment. I think I'm through yapping. you don't need to be yapped at anymore. Let's just take a moment and do some prayer together. So I invite you to sit comfortably, feet on the floor, maybe your hands in a receptive position, being open to the flow of spirit, of life itself. And I ask you to let my words be your words as I converse with spirit, knowing that I am filled at this moment with gratitude for my life, gratitude for all that I have and give and share, especially grateful for my warm home today and this week and this cold spell, and grateful that it has not burned to the ground. Grateful to know that there are thousands of people who are willing to give of their time to rebuild communities where there have been fires and floods, hurricanes and whatnots. For I know that we all have this power and this desire to serve mankind. And if I do nothing else but sit and know the truth, that there's good back of every experience, that there's wholeness and wellness back of every person experiencing ill health, I do that again with gratitude, knowing that this that made me, created me to live a fulfilling life, to live in joy, to have a prosperous life. And so I gratefully accept that, and I share it in the best ways I know how. I'm so grateful to remember more and more and more each day who I am. The glorious, beautiful inside of the shell. That's who I am. I'm grateful to know that there's power in my word. I'm grateful that I choose to walk on the sunny side of the street. I'm grateful I have a community who loves me, whom I can turn to, whom I can ask for prayer, especially when I'm not believing. I'm knowing that God is good and watches over me, guides me, directs me, especially when I don't know what to do. Then I know that God does. And I can release and let go and just surrender to life itself. Again, with gratitude, I just feel this presence exuding itself through me, around this room, out into the community. Maybe people feel a rise in the temperature for just a moment because we are sending this love out. And I know that love heals everything. So I'm knowing especially that tomorrow, as we inaugurate a president, that we do surround this time and our Congress, our leaders, with faith, with love, knowing the divine works through each one of them too, and knowing that they know how to listen. So lead me, Lord. I'm grateful to know that I have this divine GPS, and I do let it lead me as I just let it go, again with gratitude, releasing my word back into the mind of God from where it came and where it goes back to. And so with this gratitude, I just let it be. I say, so it is. And when you're ready, return to the room and we sing this wonderful song. so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Oh, shoot. I'm okay. What a way to thank you, Father, for not breaking my bones. I just lost my balance. I'm good. Yes.
I do
How
that all the
embarrassing.
time.
All right. I'll be okay. Thank you. I am so blessed. Thank you. I've got woppy shoes on here. Darn. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
Just got a little extra relaxed in that blessing. Well, now is the time in our service where we get to bless and share our love offerings with our spiritual family here at Unity of Arlington. Your gifts, your contribution are what make it possible for us to provide services and for us to pursue our mission, which is we empower people to live thriving spiritual lives. Now, if you're not sure how to give this morning, think back to what Reverend Larry was saying about tithing. And just know that if you can remember her fat dog's name, you can just use her money. And if that doesn't work for you, then think about what she really said about just giving without fear and knowing that that prosperity will come to you and that anything you give away is going to come back. That's probably the part we really should take. If you want to give this morning, then we have several easy ways for you to share your gift. We have a basket in the foyer that you can put money in. We've got an iPad Square in the back that you can use a credit card, a debit card. You can go online to unityofarlington.org, click on the donate button. You can give through text to give, the Tidely app, which is a safe and secure and very easy to use platform. But any way that you want to give, please just think about that as we say our offertory prayer. Together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and so it is. During our offertory music, please reflect on your blessings and the ways that you may want to share your time, your talent, your treasures. You may do that while the music is playing in the back, and think about your donation, all your blessings. Thank you. you for that beautiful music. And thank you for those of you that made an offertory blessing. I hope you feel blessed from it, and let's say our offertory blessing together. We accept these gifts with gratitude. We bless the gifts and the giver. We share them with joy. We use them in wisdom. We are blessed, grateful, and prosperous, and so it is. At this time, say our community prayer together. We are here to shine as the light of God. I am the light of God. We are here to embrace as the love of God. I am the love of God. We're here to stand in truth as the power of God. I am the power of God. And we're here to radiate as the presence of God. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and so it is. And at this time, our song leaders will come forward, and if you would like to stand, we will sing Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be with God our Creator. We are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you all very much for being here this morning. Thank you, band and tech team and singers and everyone in the service. Thank you, Larry. We appreciate your being here. Until next time, may God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. Be who you are, and may you be blessed in all that you are. We'll see you soon. Have a great week.